All right, welcome to the show. Another wonderful episode of Batman Radio. How's everybody doing? Um, all right, we're just gonna try to do a show here. Um, you know, like I said, first of all, um, I need to get everybody financially supporting as much as possible. Um, that's the main goal right now. Like I said, it's all going really well, man. I keep averaging numbers. Um, it's just incredible. You know what I mean? So, we just keep pushing forward and, hope for the best and that's it. You know what I mean? There's still challenges, you know what I mean? It is what it is, but we're moving forward. My movement and everything I'm doing speaks for itself. And just that simple. You know what I mean? But I don't really know what I'm going to talk about, man. We just, I decided that I'd do a live stream for y'all. So it's more so for y'all in the audience, you know what I mean? And I don't know. It's easy money from here on out, man. it's so simple. You know what I mean? We just keep this on autopilot. We come on here and we make our money. You know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean? And that's what happens when you're dedicated and you're diligent, you know what I'm saying? And you're actually kicking facts and everything I do over here is real. So I'm just proud, beyond proud of myself. You understand? So like I said, I mean, when you're a creator and you actually know how to create and you're doing the real thing, it's an amazing feeling, man. You know what I mean? Truly. It is an amazing feeling, you know what I mean? It's just I don't even know how to explain it to you. I created all this completely independent thought. Like I said, I did all this with God. Um it's just been a hell of a journey, man. It's been crazy, man. There's been a lot of obstacles. Like I said, there still is, and I just do my best to continue to overcome. And God has really shown me that with God, I feel like we can overcome all obstacles and anything at all that gets in our path. Um, like I said, it is funny, man, because I'm really not that much of a talker, man. I just talk on here because I do radio. I'm really like a you know quiet, reserved individual. For the most part. Let me see here. Hi, Trina. How you doing? Um, but yeah, like I said, I don't know exactly what I'm going to talk about, but I just figured I'd do this for y'all and give y'all a stream, and y'all can talk with me and talk amongst each other. That's perfectly fine. You know, like I said, man, I got over 7 bikes in inventory. I need homeboys and friends that know how to fix them and fix the tires and stuff. People who actually know how to work on them, and it's seeming real hard to find that. It's a couple of different things, man. You know what I mean? Other guy was talking about that maybe for real cheap I could get like an electric scooter on like Facebook Marketplace. He was saying or something like that. I've never heard of that. I've heard of that, but I've never heard of like I didn't know you could do that. So I don't know. Anytime. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna try to look into that when I can. But like I said, right now I don't have funds like that. Don't have money like that. You know, that's all I'm hoping for, man. I'm just hoping and praying that we'll get the finances and get the money. You know what I mean? That's the only way that we can. I mean, the only way is God. Let me get that addressed. The only way is not money. The only way is God. First of all, but God will provide the money and provide a budget, and God provides. You know, um, money is not always bad. I think money is a spiritual thing. Sometimes, depending on who you are, good people make money too, and I think I'm going to make a lot of money. I don't know. I could just see all the success coming. You know what I mean? Like I can see it. I can feel it. If you look on here and you actually pay attention, which you know that all the jellyfish, they're definitely paying attention. And that's what's so funny. These people, their efforts are completely pointless. They're trying so hard, and they want minimal. They're really not trying hard. They try hard, and then at the same time they don't want to work. For anything. You know, they want the accolades, they want the rewards, just like they all want to be in my position, but they don't want to put the work in necessary to do it or to get in my position. And it's just crazy because that's exactly the biggest difference between us. And now it's been shown to the world on a public avenue, and they're always aloof and always not paying attention, or they're in denial of reality. And I mean, the whole world is already behind me, brother. Okay. I mean, everybody has already validated me without me asking. I never needed outside validation, and I keep explaining this to y'all. So, number one, I mean, you're vastly outnumbered at this point because I got so many people on the wave. Like, who's not messing with me heavy at this point? Like, Batman is everything. Like, I'm a superstar, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, folks can feel however they want, do what they want, say what they want. Like I said, you'll get no reaction. You know what I mean? No reaction, probably no response. I mean, really no response because it's a waste of my time. Once I see that, what folks on and I analyze their behavior and their game and I see, oh, some folks really just want attention. And a lot of these folks, they just jelly because I have a full scale business and because I'm going on my third year as the real Batman, and I've been, absolutely nothing but successful. So naturally, they feel some type of way, because of that success. And it's like, I mean, that's perfectly fine. That's your, your choice. I mean, everybody's welcome to feel however, Um, I've explained everything. I mean, reality is reality. Reality is all proven. All of my statements are proven. Nope. All of my statements are proven, right? And like I said, here we just discuss reality, and that's it. You know what I mean? So again, it's just it's easy arithmetic, man. It's easy math, easy arithmetic. Like let's go over the digits again for y'all real quick, since I know they're in their feelings. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's all good. I mean, the bat cycle, I don't need it, brother. I mean, I'll walk 30 plus miles. I can probably walk like 60 miles in a day if I really wanted. Um, I mean, I need it. I get what you're saying. It'd be cool, but like I said, there's nothing I can do about it right now. That's why, like, I needed help with all this stuff and I never got it. One of my friends, he's going through his own stuff. I haven't even seen him in like a while. I saw him at one point and we talked and I found out what was going on. But he was the only one that I know that could have really helped me. Another friend of mine that I recently made, he's going through it. So, I can't, I don't, it's just it's been weird, man. It's been hard, man. There's been a lot of people going through a lot of stuff. So, you know I just don't have help for what I'm trying to do. And it's difficult when you're all by yourself in it and you're doing it all alone. And that's the thing people don't get. I may be famous on social media, but I'm completely alone. I've got God with me, but I've done this all by myself. I'm in these streets by myself. I'm doing everything by myself, and that's what people don't get. I go on the missions by myself. You know what I mean? What happened? Repeat that, Ace. Here, let me check the math real quick. Hold up. So like I said, the next check we already up over $146 and some change. Give me a round of applause while I go look at the other one. And then yeah, like I said, I think we're at like $396 and like 22 cents to my name. That's including that, including everything that's accrued and everything that's going to be coming in. Um, like I said, in the middle of a Great Depression, we're in the middle of the greatest depression that this world has ever seen, and everybody acts aloof to it like they don't understand. So first thing here, nothing needs to be explained, brother. If you have a seat at the table here and you're part of, the group here, so to speak, if you have a seat at the table, you're good over here in this chat room. As far as any outsiders trying to come over here and type or whatever you're on, like I said, you will not be acknowledged. Everything that you type, it'll be completely ignored. It's completely irrelevant. It's a waste of our time and my time, and you will respect my audience. And it's just that simple. And this is what these folks don't get is how easy it is. You know what I mean? When you're successful, they don't understand with success comes power. You understand when you're a genius and you're smart. So, folks are going to have a real hard time, because they just are on the same thing. All these people are repeating the same cycles, repeating the same cycles of failure. It all comes from their unresolved issues. It has nothing to do with me. Again, I don't know you. We don't have a relationship. I don't speak to you. So again, what is your purpose and place, and what are you trying to say? Again, no public statement has been issued, right? And again, people are not in a position to issue a public statement because again, they have absolutely no credibility. When I get on here, I don't talk fake. I don't talk in any other sense other than being the boss that I am. I'm a CEO of my own companies. Again, I own billions in equity, mansion and estate, over 2,000 in jewelry, my own car lot. I pay over $100 for it every month. Mineral rights, oil royalties. I'm wearing 530 on my wrist. Got you pissed. Again, did I say I have over 2,000 in jewelry in my own car lot? I technically own about 5 cars, still all luxury whips. And I pay over $100 every month. Last I checked, that's being wealthy and rich. There you go, Trina. Exactly. Right. And anything that is a waste of our time, why would we acknowledge it? And that's what these folks don't get. If you even blink once, you gonna miss something. If you are on some kind of other energy other than positivity, well, you're not a part of this. So it's very simple. I mean, you can act out, you can repeat cycles, you could do whatever you want. These folks have the same, behaviors over and over again. And for some reason, it's so funny because they really believe that they're accomplishing something. And it's just so funny. I'm a grown man. My only responsibility is, to do what I need to do and to try to make money and profit and climb up the ranks and come up in the game. Um, I'm already the highest ranking individual in the spiritual realm. I'm the highest ranking individual out here in these streets. And in reality, again, we operate above the feds. Again, I'm a genius and I am just nothing but a regular civilian. I'm a servant for God. Okay. And I happen to be the soldier for God and the elite soldier and perfect soldier that God created right in front of you. So, again, nothing here is entertainment. It's just that I'm really good at entertaining. I'm not just an entertainer. I can be and am, and I'm the greatest entertainer of all time, but I'm the enforcer and the enforcer of divine law, meaning that we don't play games, we don't play around, we don't run to other people for our problems. We just literally get our own justice, just like the Sneeds have done since the beginning of time. So these folks don't get I'm above the law already, literally. Okay, just like my ancestors were. And you can look it up. I mean, look up John Beale Sneed and what he did. Okay. My people have been, defeating cases for a long time. We're gangsters. We don't play. And it is what it is. And folks are going to have to learn to embrace that fact. And that is why, I am vengeance. That's exactly where it comes from. Because again, the entire depictions and every depiction that was ever created and made was about me. And that's the truth that, the world is either already embracing or they will come to embrace. But I'm here now in the physical form. And it's just that simple, man. That people out here riding horses all the time. Where are you at, Ace? In the country somewhere? You can let me know if you want. Um, and we're gonna get to that too. You know what I mean? That's the thing. These folks, it's so funny how, you know, like, let's go over the facts. I sold a 50-acre property I owned and had the deed to. I sold it for over $100,000. People who are devoid of knowledge will say silly things like, you had 50 acres and blah, 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 or whatever, or you sold it for that. Yeah, that's a fair price too, given the location, right? That's what I was told. It wouldn't be a matter of knowledge at that point. It would be a matter of, that's on them. That's their decision. Does that make sense? So, I mean, I don't have to explain anything because it's just so funny to me when people try to act like they're giving me advice or telling me anything, but you're not in the position. So you want to talk about 50 acres, but it's a figment of your imagination because, well, most of you or none of you will ever have it. You see the difference? So yes, 50 acres can go for 100,000. It should have been 150,000. They wouldn't give me an easement. And again, I believe it had everything allegedly to do with Carly Fiorina, right? Since she owns the land behind it. Again, I don't focus on other people. I don't focus on none of these people. I bring the facts and talk about the facts. And we have a lot of folks and they feelings. And that's the thing. You have a lot of people that want to pretend and act as if there's some kind of back and forth. Brother, I don't know any of you. I'm right here. Like I said, I stand on business every day. I stand my ground. I'm 36 years old. I'm going to be 40 in 4 years. I mean, there's no back and forth with anybody. I mean, especially folks I've never met and don't know. Okay. Everyone has been defeated. Again, I'm the man who put Empower Network out of business. I'm the man who shut down illegal organizations. Like I said, I used to do it hands on. I'm the man who shuts down cartel illegal operations in my sleep. It's easy for me. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm the man who defeated all the gangs. So, when people talk to me, if you say my name, I mean, shouldn't you know what you're doing and who you're talking about? You know what I mean? So, again, folks are silly, man. We just don't have time for it. Like Trina said, we're here to build, we're here to get support, we're here to get financial support. This is the mob. Okay, that's what I am. I'm the mob, the actual original mob. That's what my descendants and lineage is. You're hearing the mob. So just understand that, folks. And like I tell you, this is the real, I'm the real deal, Holyfield, actual Texas gangster from the past. And I make Al Capone look like a mouse, mind you. And that's the thing. It's so funny because folks can't make up their mind. They want to have their cake and eat it too. All it is just the same game of, oh, we want to pretend. And like I said, nobody's going to be able to get a reaction or a response out of me ever. Right. And it's like, they want to all pretend they have that narc amnesia going on. Right. And act like they forgot about my entire past because I got a really rough past. Like I've done a lot, you know what I mean? So like that's the thing. Like I get busy, I don't talk. You know what I mean? So like I said, I'm the enforcer of divine law. I'm an actual enforcer, right? And I'm the mob. So you would be able to, like figure that out who I am, right? So it don't get no more gangster than me. It don't get, any worse than me. It don't get any tougher than me. I'm a walking nightmare. You understand? Literally. So that's what I'm saying. Again, folks don't understand that it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter who it is. Everyone has to embrace reality. Everyone will respect my name. You understand? And it's just that simple. And like I said, I mean, as far as like internet games and stuff, I mean, God sees all. You know what I mean? So like God handles everything, bro. God is gonna always defend me and protect me and come to bat for me. And you people are just gonna have to understand that because I'm guessing you already do. So, again, I'm a real street dude, right? So I operate in the street. I'm who runs this whole everything, the whole thing at a street level, right? And like I said, I'm a thug for a living. So, I have a lot in common with what Tupac was talking about. I have a lot in common with a lot of people, but like I said, they make music about what I live. All those songs are about what I live in my life and what I've actually done. You're 100% right with that, Trina. That's facts. Yeah, what I am is true justice. And, it's just how I was raised. It's how my father raised me. And like I said, it's what my family crest and what the Sneeds represent and always had. We represented, all the real stories of all the real outlaw, Wild Wild West stuff. So, I mean, it's self-explanatory, man. People can tell themselves what they want. People can think what they want. I mean, that's not my concern. It's besides the point. We're gonna come on here. We're gonna get our money, and in the streets, like I said, the more stripes I take, the higher I climb up the ranks. I'm already ranked at the top, but like we're not competing with anyone. We're competing with ourselves at this point. And a lot of folks just can't understand that. You can't understand it because you've never seen anything like me. Like folks told me a long time ago, they said even down here, they was like, you think these people here are used to gangsters? They're like, they're not used to you. And that's the thing I be forgetting. Like I forget who I am a lot, and sometimes people have to put it in perspective for me like that because I'm not acting and this is really who I am. And it's funny that people would sense that, because that was way back when, that was years and years ago, and people sensed it then and knew it then. And I would wonder like why I would barely move or say something to someone and people would be like, shook already or like scared of me. And I'm like, I'm not even trying to do that, and then now I look at everything and I'm like, I guess it kind of makes sense because obviously they saw something in me, that maybe I wasn't even aware of because I think a lot of these components were already there, you know. I think I've been Batman my whole life. I don't think I know, and I just didn't know it completely. So I don't know. It's very interesting to say the least. It's very interesting. It's just been an incredible walk. It's been an incredible journey with God. I mean, like I said, on that dirt mound, I've landed jumps I never thought I would already, like impossible jumps for real. I mean, that dirt mound is high. It ain't no joke. And I mean, I'm already doing that, which I want to continue to work on. Like I said, I focus on my training. I don't really focus on much else. I want to get away from that too. That's why, I enjoy when I get to go into town and move around and people are, honking at me and all that stuff is cool, man. I enjoy it. It's just for me, I really would like to, better my life. I want God to help me better my life. I want to get my life back where I'm able to go out to places and just do normal things and where I don't have to always do it alone. So it's a whole walk with God, man. It's a transition, it's a whole process, and it takes time. Folks act like I've just been sitting for a long time. I've traveled all over the country, man. I've lived all over the country all these years. I mean, I drove my Porsche. I still have it. I had to drive it 7 miles on a rim to save it. I mean, I've been through hell and back. I've walked through hell. I've been through everything and more you can imagine. I mean, I've survived the impossible time and time again. Like, I've been nothing but action over here. I was never a stagnated person, never lazy, never just sitting or doing nothing. I was never even here all the time. I've lived all over the country. So, I've been moving around this entire time. That's why y'all don't understand it. Like, why is he content and okay with, not a whole lot going on? Because I never had this. I never had stability. I mean, stability is an illusion in the first place. It's a lie, but I never had that. I never had this ability to do what I want for a day. I really didn't. I mean, I was walking the streets all night usually, would have to take a nap somewhere. Sometimes I was sleeping on park benches even when I was working. When I was working jobs, bro, I've had to sleep under bridges in Dallas and I was working a job then. We were working on like 40 acres of land. Hard work. I mean, I did manual labor. I used to not sleep for a day, 2 days. There was about 2 years right before that whole stuff happened with these people in the red triangles up there in Lansing Heights, Michigan, where I found out they're all corrupt and they're corrupt everywhere. But when they tried to pull their little stunt there and it didn't work, and like I said, they accomplished nothing, and so they had to again go back and try to rewrite history of what happened when you lost, because I told you I have a career and I preserved my career. And the only reason I'm in this position now successful is because I didn't take bait and I didn't react. So again, I don't know why folks are acting as if they've accomplished something. I'm right here. Clearly nothing's been accomplished, right? See, that's the thing. They want to ignore details of reality. They want to, pretend that they don't see it, but they do. Like, I mean, there's been no effect on me whatsoever. That's the truth. You know what I mean? So I just think it's funny when, folks try their hardest. And I mean, these people have really tried their hardest. I mean, they went and got, the biggest guys they could possibly find, and thought these were strong dudes. And these strong dudes tried everything they could and couldn't do nothing with me, couldn't even slightly move me. That's the truth. So, I mean, I don't have to do anything to be protected by God. This is what people don't understand. I don't have to lift a finger to win against anyone. I don't have any enemies. I have, nothing to do with y'all. There's a lot of people that you have an issue with God and it has nothing to do with me. And you continue to try to act like it has something to do with me, but it's really just that y'all rejected God. And that's why you continue to deal with your karma every day. I agree, Ace. That is fact. So like I said, I mean, this is the biggest movement you're ever going to see because, this was an actual true awakening. So, I'm an awoken being. I had a true awakening in front of everyone, and this is real, and you're seeing that it's all real. I prove it every day on camera. I never talked ever unless I proved what I was going to claim or what I said first. Never been a talker. Always been about action. You know what I mean? So this is what these folks on here don't get is if you think I'm famous now, I mean, give it a couple of months to a couple of years. I mean, this is really about to get huge and you can see it. You can see the views kind of picking up already, the consistency, like right now. This is all God at work. God told me you'll be surprised how the blessings come in. I mean, this is going to pick up. This is why they wanted to stop me because they knew my potential. They knew what I could do. This is going to pick up. Everything I touch turns to gold. God bless my business. God bless me. I have an anointing over my life. So, I mean, you know, it's like they say, man, when you have God with you, who can be against you? You know what I mean? That's the truth. More so, who would want to be against you? You know? Oh, give me more round of applause. Come on. So, like I said, I mean, yeah, this is about to get huge because, again, all the depictions that everybody knows of, and now you're seeing the real thing unfold and happen. And when the public and the world starts realizing and seeing and finding out what's actually going on, and I'm way ahead of my time, I've been ahead of the whole population on this planet. I knew this all from day one. I did. I'm way ahead of everybody. I've predicted the future a million times. All my predictions have come true. All my predictions have come true. These people are tripping out like, how did he know that? I know stuff before the CIA knows it, before the feds know it, before the FBI knows it. Okay, I'm getting stuff done and literally like figuring out everything and solving the mysteries. You know, within 2 seconds. What takes these like the Fed, CIA, and FBI, it takes them like 5 years. I'm getting the same thing and more done in like 2 weeks. Realistically, and I'm just a regular civilian. So I mean, I'm a genius. I don't shrink for nobody, and I'm gonna continue to do what I'm doing. It's a lot like the way Iron Man was depicted. When the government's offering him billions of dollars to buy his Iron Man suit, and he's like, "I'm not selling it to you." It's exactly the same position that I'm in right now. And y'all don't even understand that's going to be a component too, because either I'm going to learn, I mean, how to build, suits to a whole nother, extent, or, there's going to be people who build them for me. But I am an asset and I'm a very valuable asset. I'm an asset that's worth, beyond trillions of dollars already. and I'm a super ninja that's like unstoppable. I mean, that's definitely something the government would want to use if you didn't think about that. I mean, why do you think we do this? You think there's not going to be offers, given to me and drawn up? They're going to have to give me offers, bro. They're going to try to throw money my direction at some point. They're going to have to. They're going to try to throw offers my way, and then it's my job to have a seat at a table and figure out, do I want any of these offers? You know, is it really beneficial, or do am I just going to do it on my own? Because I think that's what ends up happening is I think God just gives me the money and I do it on my own. But you never know, because the thing that I did notice, like in that one, he's right around like, one of the guys, he always plays like a CIA agent. So, I mean, could be a connection. I don't know. Like I said, I'm down to work with whoever as long as they're good people. I don't know if anybody's really good people, and that's the difficult part, but I mean, you got to make sure the money's right. And, I have a soul, so I have to agree morally with what I'm doing. And that's the thing. Like, all it would be is, whoever offers me any deal, they'll have to pay me. I will be in charge of everything. You're not telling me anything. You can tell me like this and that, but I'll be deciding my own missions and assignments. That's the thing. I'm going to have full control over all my projects, or I'm not doing it. You understand? So, I mean, I'm sovereign independent. There's nothing anybody can do. And that's what JFK, John F. Kennedy said. He said that's what Americans were meant to be, free and independent. And that's what all this stuff with the Illuminati and everything they did concerning him and everything they've done concerning me, that's what it all has to do with. And like I said, you're witnessing a real American taking his country back. And that's what all this is about. I'm not doing this just for me. I'm the generational curse breaker. I'm doing this for every future generation of the Sneeds. I'm doing this for every future generation of everybody in this country. I'm doing this to make sure that we have a future as a people. And I want to see America come back. I want to see the America that my ancestors, did all of this and put all this hard work in and sacrificed everything for. I want to see that America come back. And instead of asking for handouts like most of these people, and begging and asking for this and that from the people who are doing it to me, I had the courage to stand up, and I'm just taking what's mine and doing it myself. I'm not asking anybody anything. I'm manually changing and fixing this country through pure power. And that's what Batman represents. It's funny because I'm a very patriotic Batman. I'm patriotic to the country that I knew, not what it is now. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's a lot of people that can relate. So, we're trying to bring this back to what America is all about. You know, Trina said it will happen. Yeah, I think you're talking about the money and stuff. Yeah, I believe it, and that's the thing, hopefully we can get more supporters. We don't have that many, and that's okay. Because I'll tell you one thing, man. I'll take one, two, three supporters any day that are real, as opposed to 500,000 fakes like what they have all over the internet. You feel me? I appreciate that. That is true. So you're strong and show your strength every day. Right. I mean, and that's the point. I'm not doing it just to show and display it. I'm doing it because I'm training and I'm pushing myself, but it's just been crazy because I'm going on 3 years. I mean, I don't think if you look at it chronologically, I don't think there's been a day yet that I haven't gone out there and been stronger. Isn't that crazy? Like, I think every single time I've ever trained and worked out, I've gotten stronger. And I mean, to even say that is just surreal. Like, nobody does that. And you could tell what's going on with me is supernatural. It's not normal. Like I said, I went through a lot of real pain and suffering, and I do every day. And you folks could never withstand what I have. You could never understand it. It's not even. It's incomprehensible to you. Is that the word, incomprehensible? It's incomprehensible to you. You folks can never understand it because this is a divine path. Like I said, what I'm walking, my walk is biblical history. I'm the Son of God. I'm the Messiah. And it's just crazy to me that people will act aloof, like everybody wants to act like facts aren't facts and reality isn't reality. So when I explain this to folks, people say silly things like, oh, yeah, me too. Oh yeah, I'm the son of God too. Like, brother, Jesus Christ is my brother. I'm the son of God. There's only one son of God right here, right now. But there's two because there's me and Jesus Christ. But that's it. There's the chosen one. There's not chosen ones. It's not plural. It's singular. Like, why would you say such a silly thing? And what are you people on? And that's what the public is on. That's why I talk the way I talk, because I just don't play no nonsense. Like, if you're going to say something, make sure that it makes sense. You understand? And that's all I'm about, making sense. You understand? Like, I'm really the son of God, bro. I'm not out here talking. Okay. Like Nas was perpetrating when he said God's son, right? All that stuff is in vain, bro. My father ain't having none of that. That's what you got to understand. And look at who's doing it. It's crazy because y'all keep talking about this and that. I don't know what you want or what you talking about because you're trying to speak in an energy that doesn't exist. You have to have all your ducks in a row. You got to have your facts straight. Okay. If you're going to try to, have any position, especially much less that disagrees with mine, you better have your ducks in a row, and you don't. You have nothing you can tell me. So again, you want to keep talking about this and that. And I mean, like, I'm the one who's speaking, and I'm the one bringing all the ideas and concepts. So, I mean, there's nothing folks can say to me. You feel me? And like I said, look at who Nas is. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I told you, like, nah, y'all folks be selling your soul for pennies, and you don't want to face your history, and you don't want to face reality. I stand on every statement I've ever said on here, basically. Okay. I'm a man of God. I don't stand on anything that wasn't, loving and caring. But, folks got to embrace reality, homie. Like, understand? Like, yeah, nah, y'all be selling your soul, and y'all be saying my father's name in vain. And God is not going to play that. He's not going to play about nothing, bro. And this is why when I look at these fake rappers, you see them all fail. You see them getting their karma. You see them all going through hell. You see all these wicked, evil people going through hell because righteousness exists. Because I am vengeance, because vengeance and justice and true justice exists. See, we don't run to other people for our problems. We go and we get our own justice. You know, my ancestors been doing this a long time, brother. You know what I mean? So, like I said, folks can tell themselves what they want, do what they want. I mean, that's fine. I see the same people doing the same things. That's why they all in their feelings, because I've graduated to whole new levels every day, and I continue to advance and progress nonstop. I'm literally the architect of reality, and y'all are still at bottom level, and you'll never ever transcend or grow because your growth is stunted, and that's why all y'all in your feelings. So, like I said, I mean, all these people, they're in a delusional stupor. I mean, they've got nothing they can say. You just saying things and making no sense. I mean, all you're telling me is I'm winning. So, I mean, next time just say, "Hey, I love when you win, Batman. I love watching you win, and I enjoy losing." That's all you got to say. Real talk. That's what they all are, Ace. Folks don't want to work. They don't want to work hard. Like I said, nobody believed in me with this business or what I was doing. And I'm not gonna say that. I think some people did, but a lot of these people were jelly and they tried to stop me. They tried everything they could. I'm talking everything. I'm talking corruption, false calls. Y'all remember everything. They didn't even want me walking down the street. That's why I don't play about that no more. Like, brother, I do what I want. Okay. Devil ain't going to stop nothing. You can't stop what God, wants, and what God desires, and whatever's God's will is what will be, brother. And that's just so crazy, what I mean, that y'all stoop to that level, what I mean? And like I said, all these folks, they break the law every day, and that's the truth. They break the law trying to stop me. They break the law. They can't even communicate without breaking the law. And all these folks are corrupt too. There ain't nobody who's good. It's like you said, you ain't good. You just know how to hide it. You know what I mean? None of these folks are good, man. Good people would see what's going on and do the right thing. Like I told you, folks don't help. They've never helped. You know what I mean? That's why I don't run to other folks for my problems, because folks ain't never helped, and I know they ain't gonna help because they can't. They powerless. You understand? And that's the thing. Like, folks should look at their job description. And if you think your job description is something else, then resign. If you have a job and you're powerless and you can't help people, then why are you working that job? I think all of you 100% should get a new job, because I'll tell you what, in my job description of what I do, I know that I can help people. It doesn't matter what the situation is. Batman has no jurisdiction. I have no rules to follow, and I'm above the law. I do what I want to do. And that's why you made me necessary and you created me. Because if it wasn't for all you folks who failed, you failed me, you failed all these people, you failed everybody. And we have tons of witnesses. There's a federal lawsuit already built with names on the True Alpha Dating Advice channel. Okay? I've got federal indictments all across the board. A lot of folks are about to lose their job and go to prison. Every single time that anybody made contact with me will be brought up in this federal lawsuit right there. That's felonies, that's charges. Okay? Any false calls, that will be brought up. That's felonies, that's charges. You understand? Anything, any mail fraud that you've committed, that's felonies, that's charges, right? Any what you're doing with the illegal use of a telecommunication device, or any kind of illegal speaking or communication, that's felonies, that's charges. Let me explain something to you, bud. You're not doing anything, none of you, but handing me the victory. You're not doing anything but handing me millions and billions of trillions of dollars. And I'm going to tell you why, because you can't think. And now let me say my quote again and see how it pertains so specifically to what's happening. You understand? And they took it from them. And I'm going to take it all from you, Jack. And not just because I can, because this is my destiny. Los Angeles is my destiny. Yeah, it does, and they can't handle it. None of them can handle the truth, and that's the thing. Everybody want to sugarcoat it and act like, "Oh, I ain't got nothing to do with it." You work for them. What do you mean? All y'all work together. You work for the same folks that been jellying me, talking behind my back for years, that I've already literally had to G-check and sun in their face. I've had to go see folks and let them know in their own buildings and tell them, keep my name out your mouth. I'm not forgetting about nothing. What y'all want to do is you want to wipe it, under the table. You want to pull the wool over folks' eyes, and you want to say, "Oh, let's dismiss it. Oh, it's just this." No, brother, that's not what's happening. I've got tons of evidence, and these people are giving me more every day. They can't even think to stop. These folks are coming undone, unhinged. They don't even know how to help themselves. Okay? Do you have any idea how many crimes they've committed? People have committed. And all of this is literally like because I'm just shining and doing me, and I'm just living my life. I'm talking about there has had to have been within this past year to 3 years. I mean, realistically, with the amount of crime that I've seen online as far as illegal statements, everything the Red Triangles have done, everything these illegal organizations, these underground organizations that I am the one who puts them out of business have done, I'm talking there has to have been easily. I mean, we're talking over, I don't know, it's thousands. It's easily thousands of crimes committed. I mean, easily. I mean, you're talking about there's people live streaming that are committing about 50 crimes to 500 each live stream. Okay, so I don't know what y'all think this is. I don't know what country you think you're in, but this is not a lawless country. Okay, and when you don't do your job, right, what happens is we pay attention to you and what you're doing, and then we shine the spotlight on you publicly. We expose you publicly, and we make sure that you're held accountable in a court of law. There is no excuse for why folks have not done their job. There's no excuse why folks continue to not do their job. And it is not my job to think for you. Okay. There is no excuse. Okay. Why all this stuff happened. Okay. None of it. Okay. I don't have to keep going over it. And that's the thing. Like they want you they talk about, oh, well, document the evidence. Who wants to document something that's not positive and they want to do everything to get away from? I'm not documenting anything. I don't need to. You understand? I've done enough of that. I'm good. It ain't getting me nowhere. You understand? Like, brother, justice is justice. God is 100% bringing justice regardless. No matter who likes it, no matter what anybody says, God always brings justice. And like I said, I see it on the TV every day. I see it in reality every day. I don't have to ever feel any way. You know what I mean? I don't have to say or do anything ever. God got me. You understand? And that's what people don't understand. I really, truly depend on God. I have seen a lot of folks get let down by this system, that it's a broken system. And it's not just broken. It was designed against the people. And that's what I'm here to expose. This federal lawsuit will expose all of corporate America. That means all the companies that are tied in. It will expose the fact that they do not make their profit off of selling products, but they make their product off of trafficking. Okay. Again, like he said in American Gangster, Frank Lucas is the most you know what man walking the street. Tyree Sneed really is the most powerful man walking the street. And I'm an all out gangster and I don't play. I'm going to say it again. Folks don't seem to get it. I don't even care about the valley. I care about the people in the valley. I protect the valley. I've already lowered crime rates. I've helped this place. I'm good. I did my job. You understand? Now give me a round of applause for it. Real talk. This is ridiculous. But what you folks don't get is like I can go anywhere in the US and the world and I'm gonna still be me. So I'm gonna be doing this all over the world. I want to be flying in Africa and Egypt. I'm talking about flying with wings. I want to be doing this everywhere. I want to be doing this in Antarctica. I would like to go over the ice wall even. Yes, I want to go to Hollow Earth and be Batman. You have no idea what God has in store for me, right? Even I don't. None of us do. You understand? And that's my whole point is we don't think the same. We're not the same. Y'all live within the confines of a fake reality that's a matrix, and I don't. I keep telling you I'm eternal. God told you I'm eternal. He proved it. God has proven in front of your face, as well as I have, that I'm immortal. I have reincarnated literally and resurrected in front of you. Resurrection is my hobby. I've resurrected several times in front of you, over and over and over and over. I've survived the impossible time and 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 time again, right in front of your face. There is no denying. I am the Son of God, okay? And people are just silly. That's what it is. And that's why I don't play around. I don't waste my time. And I for sure don't want to be talking to folks that aren't making sense. You understand? So, need I say more? And every show we do, right? There is no denying reality. You heard every word, and now you have to recognize it. Anyone who speaks to me from here on out, you will acknowledge everything I spoke about on all these 8 million shows I've done. Capiche? Outside of that, don't say nothing to me. I don't talk for no reason, bro. I don't waste my time. My words matter, and they matter a lot more than y'all's. That's why I'm in a position of authority. You understand? Guess what? God given authority. That's right. Like I said, I'm your superior, all of you. So again, folks can tell themselves whatever they want. I don't care. Folks can do whatever they want. You could get 8 million people together in your little groups because that's what they do. And then, oh, we're jelly. And what are you going to do? All of you, nothing, not a thing. I'm stronger than everybody put together, right? And I got God with me. I'm not cocky. I'm not arrogant. I'm not conceited. I have faith, true faith. You understand? And you want to know where real strength come from? God. And that's why I'm able to do the things that I do. And that's why folks will never understand it because you're lacking faith, brother. That's the whole point. People want to talk about God, but I actually proved that God is real. Nobody else ever did that ever that I've seen. You know, I'm sure some people did. Some people have, and I would never take credit away from them. You know, and it's sad. It's sad the dues that people have had to pay. It's sad, you know, the price and the cost that people have had to pay to prove that God is real. It really is sad, man. It truly, you know what I mean? I would never take credit away from them. In fact, I'd give them all the credit and glory. You know what I mean? And that's my thing, you know. But I'm saying, like, you know, I mean, you've never really witnessed anything like this to this degree. I proved God is real. I proved that faith can do anything. I proved that this is a matrix. I proved everything I ever said. I proved that power in your spirit can move mountains. I proved that I'm the greatest testimony of all time. This was never about ego. It was never about being conceited. It was never about me. It was never about, it was always about me because it was always me. Like God told me, he said, it was always you. But I'm the chosen one because I'm here to free my people. I'm here to free the masses. I'm here to free your mind so that you can understand that we are being controlled. We are in a thought realm, people. Your subconscious creates reality, and all of our subconsciouses are connected. I'm not alone in this. This is not about just me, okay? I'm just a very, very important vessel and tool that God is using. You understand? And that's what people have to understand. This is the awakening, okay? We're supposed to be in the age of what? Like Aquarius, the age of awakening. Okay, wake up. You understand? You people are still looking at this matrix and working your little 9 to 5s, and you really believe your nonsense. You really believe you're hustling, asking for handouts from Masons who sold their soul to the devil and are broke and poor. There's not a rapper or a CEO of any corporate company who's rich. They're all poor. They own nothing. Freemasons are not allowed ownership. This is the world we all live in. There's no denial. There's no way to deny. You have to accept it because I proved it. I never wasted my breath. I never wasted my time. I have proven every single stance I ever said on here. Now, what's up? You people fear me because it's reality. That's all it is. You understand? Drops mic, right? And I'm not even done. Hold up. Ridiculous. So, like I said, folks be funny, man. You know what I mean? And that's my point. I don't have time for extracurricular activities. I don't got time to have conversations with irrelevant people. Mhm. None of you are relevant. I don't got time for anybody but God and, the people I deem time to, who I think are worthy. You know what I mean? Outside of that, I stay focused on what I'm doing, bro. You know what I mean? I work. I don't do nothing wrong. I don't go behind folks' back. Like I said, I'm loyal to Christina, faithful to Christina, have been this entire time. Ask anybody. You understand? There's no holes in my rap sheet. I'm a thoroughbred. I'm as thorough and real as they come. I'm a street dude and I'm a gangster. You understand? So, like I said, I'm here to change the world. I'm here to save the world, and I could care less who thinks what. I got a whole bunch of street dudes that already vouching for me. I'm gonna win over this country, and I'm gonna win over this world, and I'm doing it with the truth. I'm doing it with God. You understand? And that's the most powerful thing anybody can do. Real talk. Let me tell you something, man. None of this would be possible if it wasn't for God. So, be thankful. You know what I mean? Thank God. You know what I mean? Real talk. Be thankful. You know what I mean? So, yeah, real talk. They've been sleeping on me. They've been sleeping on me and they ain't about nothing. None of these folks. You know what I mean? Anybody doubt me, you doubt God. You go against me, you go against God. That's what folks don't understand. Like I said, it's going to take them a minute, Ace, but they're going to realize that they live in a world where it revolves around me. Literally, they're going to understand at some point that you're in my world. This is my dream. You're in my world. That's what all these folks in the public don't understand yet. At some point, you're going to all really understand how much power I really have in this realm. I'm the emperor in the spiritual realm, bro. I mean, look at what's depicted. Look at this icon. Look at what Batman looks like. Like, you can't see that's an angel. You can't see that that's something that rides for God. I'm the soldier for God. That means I'm in the ethereal realms doing this. When I dream, I'm doing this in other dimensions. Like, folks really be trying to play games. That stuff is hilarious. And like I said, they do it all hiding. I'm in the street every day. We the mob. We in the street every day. We run every block out here. We took everything over. Folks have to break bread. Like I said, I just realized that being myself and being a good person, I don't got to be all gangsta all the time. Being a good person and just admitting I need help gets me a lot farther. And I think people should listen to that. Right. Thank you, God. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I be vulnerable. I be myself. I'm just a regular dude, man. Real talk. I'm just a regular guy. I'm just a regular guy that people wanted to do evil behind my back. They wanted to target me. They wanted me to be their scapegoat. And in the process, they have done nothing but bless me because God blessed me. You understand? God told me I allowed your enemies to do all this. You understand? And I was upset about it at first until I realized what was going on. You understand? Like, it's still hard. It's still upsetting, but God works in mysterious ways. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not God. I would never claim to be God. I don't even like using the word unless it's pertaining to God Himself. I really don't like doing it. Sometimes I have to, but and it seems like He doesn't mind and wants me to. But you know, I have my own little qualms about things, man. I'm me. You know what I'm saying? But folks got to really understand. Like, look at it. Look at the depiction, bro. I mean, I'm going to be doing this for eternity. When I told y'all in that interview and I said, I'm going to be doing this forever, I meant it. That's what y'all don't get. This is what I do. I'm a soldier for God. This is my only purpose. And it's not my only purpose, but it is my purpose. So, for me, it's hard because what I got to try to work on is, you know, giving myself time to be a normal person, to go out places and do things and have friends and, just to get back to normal life, man. That's what I have to work on. and it's not me. It's just where I'm at. That's all. It was never a problem, really at any point. But, I've spent a lot of time by myself, man. I've always been, just they have other names for it, but I disagree with those names. I mean, I've just been a person that I do my own thing. I mean, that's not anything. That's how people should be. I stay to myself for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't like, I've seen a million people with a million fake friends. I'm from the hood. I choose my friends wisely. You know what I mean? So like, I don't deal with everybody. You know what I mean? And it's just that simple. And like, I think that's very smart and very wise. And I think people should learn from that as well. And if you're not, then, you know, you're moving wrong. So that's my whole point. Folks want to act like they can tell me something or give me advice. Okay, then quit doing it hiding. I mean, everything is proven in front of you. My wealth, my accolades, my success, uh, you know, the athletic accomplishments. I mean, everything. So I mean, like I said, like, no, it's just no. Now, when folks approach me, whether it's online or off, you're going to approach me with the utmost respect, and you're going to talk to me as who I am, and it's just that simple. You know what I mean? So other than that, I mean, I could care less. I don't sweat it. People talk, bro. You know what I mean? People, that's what people do online who, shook and they scared. That's what they do. They go online and they type stuff they don't mean. It's just the truth. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. Like I said, there's been plenty of people at this point that type stuff online and I've seen them in reality and, I don't react. I don't really respond. I don't really care. Why would I care? You know what I mean? That's the thing. All y'all on this petty stuff. I'm a grown man, bro. I'm 36 years old, bro. Y'all never seem to want to face facts with anybody, man. I've seen the same thing with everybody. Like, bro, I'm gonna be 40 in 4 years. That's the thing. Like them folks, I mean, it's not like they're not age. I'm aging backwards. I look younger than all of them put together. All of them. I look younger than all y'all. Any celebrity I've ever seen, I look younger and better than. I look handsome as hell, bro. I look like I haven't aged a day. I'm literally aging backwards, bro. I'm gorgeous. You know what I mean? People try to make videos and then put themselves up. It's like, you do not look like you're aging backwards. Like, please don't do that ever again. Sure. So that's why, like me, I just listen to God, man, because it's different. What's understood don't need to be explained and said. Christina even tells me that sometimes, and it's true. And that's my whole thing, man. Like, y'all don't get it, man. Y'all care about the wrong things. You know, I'm living differently, man. I'm living out of pure faith. God saved my life several times, a million times. God has always been there for me. So I know God is never going to let me down. He's going to always be there for me. And that's all that matters in life, period. You know what I mean? Like I said, all these things, I didn't ask for any of it. God gave it to me because he saw what a good person I was. And I was always a good person to everybody, no matter how they treated me or how they were to me. And that's what God sees. God sees your tears. God sees you crying. God sees your pain. God sees your suffering. God sees every time somebody ever wronged you. God saw all of that. God has seen how people treated me. God has wanted to, he's put me in positions to see how folks treat me. And like most of y'all, if not all y'all, failed. You know what I'm saying? So you got to worry about that. You stressing and you worrying because God is on you. You understand? And he ain't getting off. And that's what folks is really worried about. You know what I mean? So like I said, like I mean, it's very simple. I mean, either you can stop your behavior and stop trying to project the fact that you can't, deal with reality and that you've brought all this upon yourself and you can stop projecting, or God is going to continue to turn it up a notch. That's what God do. God don't play. You know what I mean? Like everybody learns their lesson. I predict right now, everybody in this world is going to learn their lesson. And the folks that want to be stubborn and don't want to learn, they're going to learn the hard way. Straight up. That's what God do. God ain't going to play with you. No, he's not. God don't play at all. That's why y'all don't understand. My God is a vengeful God because he has to be. You understand? Because of people like you that want to act like they don't have to learn. And y'all be keeping all that stuff behind closed doors. Like I said, we out here in these streets every day, cuzzy. Y'all ain't saying nothing. So don't type nothing. And that's how it works. It never ever gets changed. So that's what I'm saying. Folks is all grown, bro. You know what I mean? Be mature, homie. What are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, if you feel some way, like, what's up? Speak. You know what I mean? Like, why would you stoop to lower and lower levels and then act like you're showing anyone anything? What you're showing is God, and God is looking, and God ain't gonna put up with that. You know what I mean? Like, real talk. You know what I mean? That's what folks don't get. Folks can't send me an issue that God ain't gonna handle. I repeat, folks can't send me an issue that God ain't gonna handle. And that's what people don't get. You understand? So, like I said, and that's the truth. That's actually a great way to say it. I don't want to put it up because of the wording, but that's a great way to say it. He said with the spiritual breakthrough, and now he lives life as an earth angel. Right. You know, I was always an earth angel. I've been that forever. I mean, you know, I've been a divine being my whole life, and probably before. But, you know, I mean, what you're right. It's a spiritual awakening, and that's what's happening. So, I mean, I hope that people will learn from me. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's why all this is real. You know, folks expected me like I was just going to dress up as Batman. Folks expected and thought, oh, it was just entertainment. And that's the thing is, I know because I'm a genius and, you know, I know what I'm doing. I know that over time, word is going to carry and people going to start looking at these videos and looking at what I've accomplished. And they're going to figure out, wait a minute, this dude's really Batman. And that's when everything is going to shift because of God. God is at work. God is who did all this. This was God's idea. God told me. So he put it on my mind to do all this. You know what I mean? So God has a sense of humor. God is amazing. You know, God is very real. And one thing God don't like is all that nonsense that y'all be talking. You know what I mean? Real talk. I'm sorry, but you know, God don't like ugly, bro. Like straight up, bro. God wants people to be good to each other. God wants peace, prosperity. He wants us to love our neighbor and love each other. And that's all that I'm about. So, don't get it twisted. I'm the enforcer of divine law. Don't get it twisted. I'm a kung fu karate ninja. Don't you forget. Yeah, don't forget for 1 second, but that's because I'm righteous. And that's what you have to be in this cold, cold world. You understand? So, I mean, that's the thing people don't get. I go from polar opposite to polar opposite real quick. You know what I mean? But God wants us to love each other and treat each other right. That's why he gonna always back me and be on my side. So how could you win? You understand? Like I said, your issue is not with me, brother or sister, none of y'all. Your issue is with God. That's why you keep on trying and trying and trying, and all you're trying to do is throw whatever you can and think of whatever you can. All that stuff is the devil just operating through y'all because y'all little minions and y'all are possessed and you're being used by the devil because you're weak. That's the truth. That's all that is. That's just the devil. The devil can't, and the devil is so unhinged right now, and that's why all his little minions and all of the devil's agents here, all these agent provocateurs, they're all crashing out over little old me because the devil's trying everything he can and he can't conquer me because the devil can't conquer God. Newsflash, that's the fact. So, like I said, let the devil try and continue his feeble attempts. And, I told you, as far as y'all are concerned, I am God to you because I'm God in human form. And God is in my eyes. You can look in my eyes and see God straight up. Yeah, I am God to you. I just don't claim to be God. Like I said, God works through me. So, just like the devil be working through all you 3 foot tall pigeons, yeah. Well, guess what? God be working through me. You feel that? Real talk. So, like I said, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's just beautiful. And like I said, I walk between realms. That's what people don't get. I sit at the right hand throne of God for real, man. I'm directly connected to God. I told y'all whenever you see Batman moving, you're seeing God moving. That's what you have to understand. There is no fear here. Just like I told y'all straight up, right in front of your face, look y'all right in your eyes. And like I said, what did I see? Fear. And I told y'all this. hmm I told you right in front of you, all of you, there is no fear here. I've looked y'all right in your eyes, right in front of you, and told you I'm immortal. I'm an immortal vampire. hmm Do you not get it? G checked and son, one homeboy, like I said. I put down, I shut down all these illegal, organizations. Like I said, Empower Network, right? G checked, owned, right? That scooter store, same thing, G checked, owned, right? Had to pack up their bags and go do business somewhere else. I don't care. I don't care where you go do business at, or if it got shut down, just as long as you're not operating there. You understand? Like that's the whole point. People don't get all this is me out here. You know what I mean? Like real talk. If you gonna go behind my back and be jelly, then you need to pack your bags and go do business elsewhere. Real talk. Tell me when I'm lying and when I'm wrong. This is America. You'll respect me and you'll respect my country. You feel that? Real talk. So, like I said, people could say what they want, but I mean, how many of these folks are documented as backing down to me? Exactly. So I ain't took a L yet and never will and never have, and I just don't. And like I said, all the desperation and the fake attempts and the fake stuff, I mean, that's just a waste of your time. There's never ever been a time that y'all have succeeded in anything. What y'all like to do is you like to fail epically and then you like to rewrite history while you hide on the internet. What that is and where they do that at, I don't know. But yeah, like I said, we won against everybody. I won against everybody, and I didn't do it by myself. I don't want to ever feel like I'm by myself in anything. As much as it feels like that sometimes, and I've done this all by myself. Like I have God with me, man. I got ancestors speaking through me, man. I'm doing this for everybody. You know what I mean? And that's my thing, bro. We should appreciate people more. Like it shouldn't be this hard for me to be around people. And that's what I keep pushing and stressing. And, that's why I ask people for help and stuff because even just asking people for help, it made me more a part of the community. I mean, me talking to people made me more a part of the community. Me communicating. I mean, that's the thing. We're a community out here. Y'all don't get, we're real tight knit out here. Like real talk, whether you believe it or not, like we have a community out here. And like I said, I shout out to the valley because there's good people in the valley. We have a very tight knit community here. That's what I've learned over time. I didn't know it because I've always been very standoffish and to myself. And I just always kept myself separated from everybody because it's the way I was. It's kind of the way my father was. It's just how we are, and it's just, whatever. I don't know, maybe to protect myself, maybe just the way I am. I have no idea. But my point is, the more I've gotten involved, the more I really realized there's good people here. There's nothing but love. There's a lot of support. And, that as opposed to what I used to think, or, I guess a couple of bad apples or things that I went through in the past is polar opposite. So clearly, the valley, I have to give credit because they've shown me that I was wrong. I was wrong about a lot of them. You know what I mean? And not everybody. I mean, there's definitely some evil folks in the valley that have had it out for me and are against me, and evil as hell, and there's a lot of criminals and corrupt. But I'm just saying the valley as a whole. It's not so much that I was wrong. It's that I wasn't wrong, but it was that you know there's been so many good people that I didn't even know existed. I didn't even know they were here. So that's what I'm saying. God has really opened my eyes, man. God has made things apparent. God has brought me people. He brought me people today. Folks helped me to record. We were talking about everything. I mean, all that stuff matters. Like I said, the other dude, he owns the gym or manages one of the gyms over there. He was saying, let's work, let's talk. So I haven't talked to him yet, but maybe we'll speak. We'll see what happens. You know, you never know with people, man. I have to see what it is because a lot of people, they see what it is and what I'm doing, and then some of them, feel some type of way about whatever. Some folks get jelly. It just depends. You know what I mean? But we gonna keep pushing no matter what and doing what we doing, and God will fix everything and handle everything. Like I said, no matter what it is, God will fix it. God will fix it, man. But you just have to have faith, and that's truly what I believe. And it's the only way I got through all this, impossible stuff and survived all this impossible stuff. And I'm gonna say it again: we're vibrational beings, and when you live in a vibration of love, you can conquer fear all day, and you can pretty much do anything. And that's what I'm doing in front of you. So everything I ever kicked on radio or talked on here on the internet or at any point in reality, I proved it all. You know. They're gonna be making movies about me, man. I can guarantee that regardless. I mean, I already earned that. They're gonna make a movie about me. I can guarantee that. I've done too much. You know what I mean? It's a whole thing. So I mean, there's gonna be movies made about me. I'm a living legend, bro. I'm a legend. I'm going down in history. I'm talking about biblical history. And like I said, if I had my way, I'm just getting started. God loved me. You know what I mean? That's all I know. Like I said, I didn't ask for much. I didn't ask for anything. I'm not even supposed to be here. And that's why I'm just thankful for everything, man. I can't thank God enough. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. You can hear it when I'm talking. I'm not lying. I'm not making this up. I'm not supposed to be here at all, bro. That's what y'all don't get. So I'm always thankful for everything because it's all because of God. Truly. You know what I mean? So that's what makes me a real testimony. And like God told me, He said there can't be a testimony without a test. There's been a lot of times I don't understand anything or don't understand this or what's going on or what is happening. Even now I have confusion. God told me not to lean on human understanding. You know what I mean? He told me to keep my eyes on Him and keep pushing. So that's what we're doing. So that's all I have to say, man. But just like I said, man, like we gonna stay pushing forward. You know what I mean? Folks is completely out of luck. If you against me, this is good luck, bro, because you in for a rude awakening, like real talk. That's all I gotta say. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. That's what I'm saying. Like talk is cheap. Folks who can't listen and don't listen, I mean, you just doing yourself a disservice. You know what I mean? So, like I said, we remain on point and vigilant, like God told us, and we stay moving forward. All right. More money, because I'm gonna get paid for this one too, because I get paid to talk. Unlike you, that's right. All right, we'll talk to y'all later, man. I appreciate y'all. Much love. Easy.